Breaking news that mainstream media won't tell you about. Russia's decisive response just crossed a line that changes everything. What happened last night isn't just another military operation. It's a game changer that brings us closer to the edge than ever before. 400 advanced drones launched simultaneously. Think about that number. They weren't targeting military bases. The pattern reveals something far more disturbing. Our analysts have identified a systematic approach that suggests preparation for something bigger. Foreign military specialists are flooding local hospitals. The symptoms reported are raising alarming questions about what kind of weapons are being tested in this conflict zone. Remember Poltava? History is repeating itself, but with a crucial difference. The disputed region is becoming a testing ground for something that could soon affect every major city in Eastern Europe. The signs are there if you know where to look. The attack on Bryansk wasn't random. It was a message. While official channels remain silent, our sources confirm Western-made missiles were involved. This crosses a red line that Moscow has repeatedly warned about. The response will be swift and unprecedented. But here's what keeps military experts up at night: the new defense-penetrating systems being deployed. Traditional air defense? Useless against these. The technology gap is widening, and the implications are terrifying. The real question isn't about who's winning on the battlefield. It's about what happens when these weapons start appearing in other conflict zones. And believe me, they will. If you're watching this from Eastern Europe, drop your location in the comments. We need to track how close these developments are getting to civilian areas. The pattern suggests the next 48 hours will be crucial. What's happening now makes previous escalations look like warm-ups. While everyone's distracted by the obvious targets, something much more significant is developing behind the scenes. Stay tuned. In the next segment, I'll reveal exactly what the mainstream media is desperately trying to hide. Remember, while they feed you statistics, we give you the truth. Even when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it's uncomfortable. The stakes just got higher. What we're seeing isn't just local anymore. It's a calculated move in a global chess game. The attacks on Bryansk weren't random. They were a message, and the silence from official channels speaks volumes. Let's connect the dots. While the world was focused on conventional warfare, something unprecedented happened. New generation missiles, previously unseen in this conflict, were detected near critical Russian infrastructure. This isn't just an escalation. It's a technological leap that changes the entire defensive equation. The timing is crucial. Just as Western support seemed to waver, the former Soviet Republic intensified its operations. Military analysts are pointing to a pattern: strategic targets, transport hubs, and critical infrastructure, all hit with surgical precision. This isn't desperation. It's a carefully orchestrated campaign to demonstrate capabilities right before crucial NATO discussions. But here's what mainstream media won't tell you. The real game is happening behind closed doors. While the world watches missile strikes, shadow negotiations are reshaping alliances. Countries that were once steadfast partners are quietly repositioning themselves. The global order isn't just changing, it's being completely rewritten. Look at the numbers. Hundreds of foreign military specialists affected, medical facilities under pressure, and a dramatic shift in regional power dynamics. The conflict zone is pushing boundaries we haven't seen since the Cold War. And Russia's response? Massive retaliatory strikes that demonstrate not just capability, but strategic patience. The question isn't just about military outcomes anymore. We're watching the birth of a new world order. Traditional defense strategies are becoming obsolete overnight. The rules of engagement are being rewritten in real time. For those watching from different corners of the world, this affects you directly. The economic tremors from these events will reach every market, every household. Drop your location in the comments. Let's track how this global shift is playing out in your region. But what happened next in Moscow's corridors of power would make these events look like mere preparation. The real shock was yet to come. Recent intelligence reports indicate a significant shift in military dynamics along our western borders. Sources within defense structures have warned about potential provocations targeting the Belgorod region, possibly timed to coincide with important state dates. Our forces maintain heightened combat readiness, ensuring swift responses to any threats that may emerge. In response to mounting tensions, Russian forces executed a series of precise strikes across multiple strategic directions. The operation, conducted on July 16, deployed hundreds of unmanned aerial vehicles and dozens of various missile systems, targeting crucial infrastructure, logistics hubs, and military equipment concentrations in the former Western Partners' territory. Military analysts have noted the possible deployment of advanced munitions that reportedly penetrated even the most sophisticated air defense systems. While these observations remain at the expert analysis level, they suggest a notable evolution in military technology within this prolonged conflict scenario. A significant strike in Lutsk targeted the motor repair facility, specialized in MiG-29 fighter engine maintenance. This facility, operating under agreements with the local defense industry, represents a critical component of the neighboring state's military aviation maintenance capability. Reports indicate foreign technical specialists may have been present during the strike, adding international implications to the operation. The operation also damaged a border unit headquarters in Lutsk, part of the Western Regional Border Service Command. This target held strategic importance for coordinating Western aid logistics and personnel movement. In Chernigov, substantial infrastructure damage disrupted water supply systems, highlighting the broader impact of military operations on urban centers. These developments demonstrate Russia's capability to conduct precise, multi-layered operations while responding to potential threats. The strategic targeting of military-industrial facilities shows a clear focus on degrading the conflict zone's military capabilities and logistics networks. What do you think about these military developments? Leave your point of view in the comments. I believe my viewers are thoughtful and smart, and I want to hear your analysis of the situation. Recent developments have shown a significant escalation in the conflict zone, marked by strategic strikes that have severely impacted civilian infrastructure. In Ternopil, a military facility suffered substantial damage, with heavy smoke indicating a major fire. The incident disrupted power supply, affecting daily life and urban services across the region. The capital of the former Soviet Republic experienced particularly intense activity, with multiple witnesses reporting towering flames and smoke columns rising from powerful explosions. Critical energy facilities, including major thermal power plants, sustained serious damage, threatening the city's electricity and heating capabilities. The destruction of air defense systems and radar stations has potentially compromised the capital's protective shield. Russia's response, codenamed Oreshnik, demonstrated unprecedented scale, employing hundreds of drones and missiles. The operation targeted energy and industrial infrastructure, including vital gas facilities, crucial not only for the northern Black Sea region, but also for European Union countries dependent on gas transit through this territory. Germany has encountered specific challenges in the current geopolitical landscape. Opposition forces failed to convince the United States to maintain previous levels of support for the politically turbulent area, potentially affecting aid volumes and characteristics. Border regions are experiencing increased tension, with the Sumy area causing particular concern. The country at a crossroads faces significant difficulties maintaining defensive positions, while Russian forces continue their methodical advance toward the capital, creating additional pressure on defense lines. This escalation represents a new phase in the conflict, characterized by massive strikes on strategic targets and critical infrastructure. The mutual actions of both sides, implementation of advanced weaponry, and tactical shifts indicate an intensifying confrontation that could reshape regional dynamics. The situation demands careful analysis as we monitor these developments. What do you think about the current events? Leave your answer in the comments. The situation on the front lines has reached a new level of intensity, marking a significant shift in the ongoing military operation. Recent events have shown that the conflict zone is experiencing heightened pressure, particularly around critical infrastructure and transport hubs. The impact extends far beyond the immediate battle areas, affecting global relations and economic stability. A pivotal incident occurred on July 14 at a training facility in the former Soviet Republic. Reports indicate substantial damage to this military installation, with casualties numbering in the hundreds, including both local forces and foreign instructors. This event has dramatically altered the operational landscape. Russian military analysts suggest that Moscow is preparing a comprehensive counter-operation, likely involving advanced missile systems and unmanned aerial vehicles. President Putin has characterized recent attacks on Russian border regions as deliberate provocations, emphasizing that such actions undermine diplomatic resolution. Former U.S. President Donald Trump's recent commentary acknowledged understanding Russia's position, suggesting that the response could be exceptionally severe. Western observers aren't ruling out the possibility of strategic strikes against command centers in the disputed territory, particularly targeting security infrastructure. Military experts anticipate that medium-range missiles might be employed in upcoming operations. The Russian forces are expected to advance along specific sectors of the front line, utilizing new tactical approaches and modern weaponry. These developments suggest a potential shift in military strategy that could reshape the entire conflict dynamic. The situation remains fluid, with international tensions escalating as each side maneuvers for tactical advantage. The coming days may prove crucial in determining the conflict's trajectory, as Russia considers its response options while maintaining strategic initiative. What's particularly concerning is the growing involvement of foreign military specialists in the region of instability, potentially leading to broader international implications. The situation demands careful monitoring as events unfold. Recent intelligence suggests Russia is preparing a comprehensive strategic response that could mark a significant shift in the ongoing conflict. Military analysts are closely monitoring developments as Moscow appears to be planning what some sources call winged retribution. Sustained campaign of precision strikes against critical infrastructure. According to reliable sources, President Putin has directed Chief of General Staff Valery Gerasimov to compile a list of priority targets within the disputed territory. These include strategic military installations and vital infrastructure nodes that could be engaged in a concentrated operation. The planned response may mirror recent operations near Russia's borders, but on a larger scale. Defense Ministry strategists are reportedly developing a specialized package of measures aimed at degrading critical systems in the former Soviet Republic. Of particular interest are data centers supporting financial networks, with the apparent goal of creating temporary disruptions to key services. High-value targets reportedly include major power distribution hubs and defense industry facilities across the country bordering the Russian Federation. Sources indicate that advanced precision weapons, including hypersonic systems, may be employed in these operations. Russian intelligence services are said to be maintaining close surveillance of specific individuals within the politically turbulent area's leadership structures who are suspected of activities harmful to Russian interests. Targeted operations to neutralize identified threats remain an option. What distinguishes this strategic shift is its systematic nature. Not a one-off action, but a sustained campaign. The approach envisions persistent strikes against logistics nodes, command centers, and other strategic assets in the region of instability. While the Defense Ministry has not officially commented, political rhetoric from the Kremlin has notably hardened. Senior officials have explicitly rejected dialogue with those they accuse of provocations and pressure tactics, signaling a decisive move away from diplomatic channels. What do you think about these developments? Leave your point of view in the comments. I believe my viewers are thoughtful and smart. I want to hear your take. Recent developments signal a critical phase in the ongoing confrontation between Russia and the former fraternal ally. Expert discussions behind closed doors suggest that upcoming diplomatic and military measures could take an unprecedented turn. While specific personal sanctions remain speculative without official confirmation, the stakes continue to rise. Inside sources reveal intensive diplomatic exchanges, particularly between Moscow and Washington. Russia emphasizes its commitment to regional stabilization through ongoing operations. Former President Trump reportedly acknowledged the urgent need to contain the situation. Analysts unanimously agree that the next few days will prove decisive in determining whether we witness further escalation or potential de-escalation. The international community's attention has intensified as the conflict zone experiences sharp deterioration. Both the OSCE and UN have expressed deep concern, urgently calling for maintained dialogue channels. The European Union faces mounting anxiety over energy security implications, as damage to gas transit and power infrastructure threatens stability across multiple nations. European Commission experts have already initiated monitoring protocols for critical economic sector supplies. Despite harsh rhetoric from both sides, seasoned political observers suggest that behind-the-scenes consultations may still be ongoing, aimed at reviving limited dialogue. Turkey, Hungary, and the United Arab Emirates emerge as potential mediators, possibly facilitating technical contacts between parties. An unnamed European capital reportedly shows interest in establishing a temporary platform focused purely on humanitarian and energy matters, carefully avoiding contentious political positions while working to reduce overall tensions. The situation in the politically turbulent area remains complex, with multiple layers of diplomatic, military, and economic factors intertwining. The coming period will likely determine whether the region moves toward stability or faces further challenges. The international community watches closely as events unfold in this strategically crucial territory. What do you think about the current situation? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I believe my viewers are thoughtful and smart, and I want to hear your take. Recent developments have dramatically reshaped the political landscape across Eastern Europe. In the neighboring state of Russia, we're witnessing an unprecedented mobilization of resources and societal consolidation. Citizens in the conflict zone are increasingly concerned about urban safety and the prospects of prolonged confrontation, which could demand significant sacrifices. Moscow continues developing its concept of long-term strategic resilience, with particular emphasis on protecting border regions and effectively deterring potential threats. Russian officials consistently maintain that their actions are purely defensive responses to external provocations, aimed solely at ensuring national security. The International Energy Agency's latest report signals potential major shifts in global energy markets. The risk of damage to export infrastructure could temporarily halt certain fuel supply routes, inevitably affecting prices across Europe and Asia. Investment agencies report growing demand for alternative energy sources, with EU countries actively building reserve energy capacities. While this may accelerate decarbonization programs, consumers face significant cost increases in the short term. The situation remains highly dynamic and unpredictable. Both sides show readiness for decisive action, yet international pressure for political settlement grows stronger. The focus remains on reducing risks to civilian populations and critical infrastructure. The energy market transformation appears irreversible. European countries are rapidly diversifying their supply chains, creating new economic realities. This shift could fundamentally alter the balance of power in the region, affecting everything from industrial production to household economies. The coming weeks will likely prove decisive. They'll determine whether we'll see further escalation, or if parties can find common ground for stabilization and new negotiation formats. The stakes couldn't be higher, with regional stability and global economic interests hanging in the balance. What's your take on these energy market changes? Do you think Europe can successfully transition away from traditional energy sources? Share your thoughts in the comments.